Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jimena Viso.
I am Mariana Arevalo.
I am Maria Fernanda.
And I am Tamara. And today we're going to explain the
Venezuelan
crisis.
crisis. Venezuela started getting money in the year 2000s. Why? Because of oil. Venezuela had the biggest economy in all South America, was the richest one, but today suffers the biggest hyperinflation in all the world with 500% of hyperinflation, as I said before. Also has 20% of child mortality and it keeps rising, and there is lack of water and basic needs, for example flour, bread, toilet paper. But before we keep talking about what has happened in Venezuela, we're going to present you the four main characters in this crisis that are Hugo Chavez, Nicolás Maduro, Enrique Capriles, and Leopoldo López.
Hugo Chavez was born the 28th of July of 1954 in Venezuela, western Venezuela. Then he studied an engineering career on a military academy and he finished on 1975. Later on, he founded the Revolutionary Bolivarian Move in 1982. Then he tried to do a coup d'etat, but he failed, so he was put in prison, but he was later put in freedom in 1994. But then in 1997 he founded the Fifth Revolutionary Move and won the elections. In 1999 he proclaimed a new constitution with the objectives of refounding the republic and organizing a democratic state of social of rights and justice. And in 2000 he was re-elected. Later on 2002, militaries of the opposition captured him and tried to make him quit the power, but he didn't, and he was put in freedom again, and he retook the power. But this makes him accelerate Bolivarian revolution, expropriating people from their business, and expanding public education, and improving health services, and fighting poverty. Opposers still criticize him because of inflation, because of the major grew in corruption and the major grew in violence. He still won two more elections, 2006 and 2012, but he had a terrible ending because he died of colon cancer in 2013. Ari?
I'm going to explain you who is Nicolás Maduro. Nicolás Maduro is the actual president of Venezuela since 2013. But before that, he was just the vice president. But when Hugo Chavez died in March of 2013, he was elected president. He is a socialist leader who is affronting one of the worst economic crises of Venezuela. All these 3 years of presidency coincides with the collapse of oil price, which is the worst of the Venezuelan economy. The scarcity remains at critical levels, but experts estimate that in 2016 it exceeded 500%.
Leopoldo López is a politician, economist, and opposition leader to the Venezuelan government from the political party Voluntad Popular.
He was mayor of Chacal from 2000 to 2008, having been elected to office for 2 consecutive years. He is national coordinator of the Popular Will and Popular Networks. In 2006, López was leader of the opposition to Chavez. On September 10, 2015, the Venezuelan judiciary declared guilty of public incitements to violence in 2014 demonstrations, which killed 43 people and injured hundreds. The UN High Commissioner of Human Rights called for the release of detainees in connection with the protest in the early hours of July 8, 2017, the sentence that gave home to Leopoldo López.
And finally, the four characters of this crisis. This character is called Enrique Capriles. Enrique Capriles is a Venezuelan lawyer and politician, leader of the Primera Justicia party, and also current governor of Miranda State. In October 2011, polls show that the most famous candidate was Enrique Capriles, followed by Leopoldo López. So in April 14th of that year, the parliament called two elections. The election was tight, but finally, Enrique Capriles was defeated by Maduro. Enrique Capriles wasn't sure about this because he thought that Maduro has paid money to a government to change the votes, and he told them to count them again, but he wasn't heard. And he, because of that, started to be the opposition, the main opposition of Nicolás Maduro. He wanted to search people that helped him. This is why he searched in Latin American countries support for his cause, that is to take Maduro from Venezuela, because he thinks that Venezuela right now, the government is oppressive, unsustainable, and has led his country to an unsustainable crisis.
Now that you know all the main characters, we can explain you how the Venezuela crisis started. It started in 2003 when a group of oil workers did a strike to overthrow Hugo Chavez from power. It was an attempt, and this led that the oil production stopped, so the money production also stopped.
This was a critical time for Chavez because he needed to keep importing oil. But the oil was collapsing, and not also this, but the currency too. Chavez decided to fix the change in order to keep all the economy stable. But not only that, Chavez made a rule that said that all the people had to buy the dollars from the government. And this was the precise moment where many argued that the Venezuelan economy bomb started ticking, because Chavez's economic plan is still in place today. And for years, this wasn't an actual problem because the price of oil keep rising and Venezuelan government keep filling its pocket with money. Until in 2003, Hugo Chavez itself died. Here was when Nicolás Maduro came to power and all started changing.